Hola cripto amigos, soy Toño-Dravitar, bienvenidos nuevamente al canal. En esta ocasión tenemos aquí al maximalista de Bitcoin, Saylor, y veremos sobre lo que dijo en la Atlas Society Gala.
Bitcoin is a shining city in cyberspace, and you can go there once you understand it. Bitcoin and objectivism, they have a common cause. Ayn Rand in 1959 said, "I'm for the separation of the state and economics, just as we had the separation of church and state." Whereas Hayek in 1984 said, "I don't believe we shall ever have good money again before we take the thing out of the hands of the government. That is, we can't take it violently out of the hands of government. All we can do is by some sly, roundabout way introduce something that they can't stop." Clearly, both movements are thinking about separating economics from the state and from the collective. The difference is, for thousands and thousands of years, the technology for doing that was imperfect. The technology of gold to separate the power from the state doesn't work when they just shoot you and take your gold. The technology of cows or tobacco or fiat currency or buildings, they don't work that well to separate economics from the state. So although this was an ideal and aspiration, we never had the technology to realize it. January 3rd, 2009 is the singularity. That's the point at which Satoshi Nakamoto developed the technology to transfer value through space without a trusted third party. Now, people say that a lot. They say he solved the Byzantine generals problem. But if you can transfer something of value through cyberspace without a trusted third party, that means you can manifest something of value in cyberspace without a trusted third party. That means you can create and store and transfer energy in the digital realm. The creation of digital property, digital money, digital energy, and digital matter was therefore affected on January 3rd, 2009. Most people don't realize this, but Satoshi opened a portal from the physical realm into the digital realm, and energy began to flow into cyberspace, bringing life to a formerly dead realm consisting only of shadows and ghosts, bringing conservation of energy and matter, objectivity, truth, time, and consequence into the digital realm, delivering property rights, freedom, and sovereignty that is separate from the physical and the political realm to humanity. Most of the world, myself included, ignored this chain reaction for the next decade. It happened, it flickered, it burned, we ignored it, except for the OG Bitcoin cypherpunks, and they can tell you that everybody thought they were crazy. In March of 2020, the world came to a grinding halt. Suddenly, billions of people woke up to the prospect of an economic collapse, losing faith in their institutions and their governments. On August 10th, MicroStrategy, struggling with this existential crisis, adopts the Bitcoin standard. At that point, I concluded the road to serfdom is working exponentially harder for a currency growing exponentially weaker. And we saw an escape from economic slavery in the form of what we thought was digital gold. But as I've explained, it turned out to be much more than digital gold. On September 18th, after fully adopting the Bitcoin standard and after talking to some more Bitcoiners, I had this epiphany. I went to Twitter and I posted the following: Bitcoin is a swarm of cyber hornets, serving the goddess of wisdom, feeding on the fire of truth, exponentially growing ever smarter, faster, and stronger behind a wall of encrypted energy. And I think Ayn Rand would understand what I was saying. What it means is, for the first time in the human race, we have unleashed a freedom virus a truth virus. We've unleashed a sovereignty virus, which is also a monetary virus. And as you know, and as Heinlein once said, the only way to fight a virus is with another virus. You can't take it head on. Bitcoin is something special. Galt's Gulch is the Bitcoin network. Rather than removing your labor from a corrupt economy, you should remove your money from a corrupt economy. Bitcoin's a protocol to create free ideas, free economies, and free assets beyond the control of corrupt institutions. It's a fast, fair, and equitable method to settle the differences of 8 billion people. We say in the Bitcoin world, fix the money, fix the world. Success. We want to succeed? This is the end of my speech. We could talk about the struggle and the human misery, and we could talk about the reasons why and what people think about it, but ultimately, it doesn't really much matter. I don't want to be a martyr. I don't want us to die for our country. I want us to be the winners. Success requires courage, clarity, and commitment. Look, there's 20,000 cryptos. There's one that's 95% dominant, which is ethically sound, technically sound, economically sound. Bitcoin is reared in metal. It's the hardest substance in the universe. Most people don't know it. Most people are afraid of it. Never done that before. When we bought Bitcoin, we bought 250 million. No public company had ever bought any. People thought we were crazy. So then we bought another 175 million. People thought we were crazy. Then we bought 600 million more. People said, you can't stand on it. It'll destroy you. It's like standing on a bridge made of steel. And I concluded, it's the perfect engineered material to solve our problem, but people are living in fear. And how are we going to get them to not be fearful? And I was reminded of Andrew Carnegie's example. It's like build the bridge, go stand out in the middle of the bridge. You build an airplane, fly the airplane. Show people that it's not going to break. That's what MicroStrategy did. We said, well, if it's good for 100 million, it's good for 1 billion. If it's good for 1 billion, we might as well go for 4 billion. Right? And at some point, people will realize that they have more to fear by not embracing this technology than by embracing it. Right now, it's a $400 billion asset. There are $400 trillion of other assets floating around in our current fiat system. They're leaking energy, they're corrupt, they're inefficient, they're controlled by the collective. Bitcoin is 0.1% of the human race's liquid energy. 99.9% of the world doesn't get it. They're not there. That 99.9% haven't moved to Galt's Gulch. That means you're still early. So you can plug in yourself, your company, your organization, your agency, your product, your service, your family, or your ideology. I said to you at the beginning of the talk, Bitcoin's a union. The union gets more powerful as more people join. And in the war for the future of money, it's going to be won with money. As the money moves into the network, the monetary union gets more powerful. Everybody that joins the network has that much more power. And your only hope against the oppressive force of the collective is to unionize your own activities and organize your activities with people of like ideology that believe as you believe. More money, more people, more power. So in closing, Bitcoin is an economic machine based on a truth machine, poised to emerge as a freedom machine. It's the best choice we have to save our civilization and realize the ideal world envisioned by Ayn Rand and the objectivist movement. Join us. Thank you.
Bueno, Bueno, cripto amigos, esto fue lo que dijo el gran Michael Saylor. Denle like y suscríbanse y nos vemos hasta siguientes videos. Bye bye.